click this. All right. Oh, there we go. We're live. Hello. Hello. Right, I'm going to say my little intro. Hello, welcome to Unity 151. My name is Joe. On this channel, I review sci-fi, military sci-fi, space opera books. I do a weekly live writing video where I talk to, a few of us talk about what we're learning as inspiring writers. I do author interviews where we talk about their old, new, and upcoming books. Today, we are doing a live writing journey where we talk about writing, obviously. We are talking about self-publishing and like the planning and going through it. Today, I have Rayner Ye. Yes. No, I've got. Yeah, no. Oh, Christ, we just spoke
Rayner Ye.
Rayner Ye. That's it. Rayner Ye. Oh, terrible. We just spoke about it. Because I read something like my brain just died out. Right. So what we're going to do? Yeah. So this is Rayner. There we go.
Hello.
She has done some sci-fi books of different sorts and so on. What we're going to do? We're going to quickly talk about. We'll say hello to her. She can say little things, and then we'll talk about what I've done this week, what she's done this week regarding writing. And then we're going to talk about what we spoke about regarding planning and self-publishing and blah blah, and her experiences and what I think would be a good idea because I don't know. So go on, let's talk a little bit about you first. What have you done? Tell us a little bit about your books and let people know who you are and so on.
Well, I published my 12th book about a week ago. It's called UFO's Run 4, and that is like a space opera techno thriller series. My first two series have got like time travel and space fantasy in them, but the time portal closed in my last series, the last book of my last series, which is called Red Star. Because my first two series are a bit of a mishmash, really, of like kind of spy-fi and space fantasy and time travel and mysticism as well. So a real mishmash, and I really needed to write a series which is written to market and doesn't cross so many subgenres.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's me. I'm not very successful at the moment.
Well, no, you learn. Well, let's just say I'm nothing. You're more steps than what I am, so you're doing better than me. That's all I can say. Right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about what we've done this week. I have done what I do. If I write it down here, I did about 1,500 words on Monday. I had a good little run. I did a little run. A little bit of time I had. I got about 700 words done today because my partner was like, right, is there anything you need to do? And I was like, yeah, I could do like a bit of writing. Like, go do writing quickly. The kids asleep or one of them asleep and she was doing something with them. So I was like, boom. So I actually smashed out. I think I had like an hour, maybe 2 hours. And I was like, I was really going into the zone of it. Oh, when I really get like now, whether it's any good, completely different. But to me, like I really was like, I know what's happening because it's a character called Cade. So he was in a pod, so like their ship got attacked, or loads of ships got attacked. He's in a pod. It's actually an assault pod, like an attacking pod, but they haven't run away from the ship because it's gone downhill for them. So they just landed on one of their own planets, and the enemy, which are codenamed Dauntless at the moment, they've just landed thousands of pods in just this one city. Thousands have just landed everywhere. So they're just at the point where they've landed. They're at doors checking, see what's going on, because civilians are like, oh, what's going on? Why is there ships and people dying? We thought it was safe where we was, and there's pods landing down and stuff, and then literally just the whole point of what's going on, and then the enemy pods come and they're coming out and they're about to have a big battle and stuff. So I was just building up to the battle, and then I had to deal with children and help food and clean and stuff. Well, I did get some pod art done as well, which hopefully when I do a Sunday video, which I might change to Wednesday. I'm thinking about changing the Sunday to Wednesday because I do this on a Sunday and it's a bit sort of struggle to do a video, do it on Sunday and so on. So I'm going to, I might show the art on a Wednesday, which is going to be the Sunday video. But yeah, that's me. Is that
the pod on your Instagram?
Yes, that is the pod.
Fantastic.
Oh, my friend does it. Like he's so good at work. Like,
and you could see the interior of it today.
I know.
There, and all of the safety harnesses. Like when I first saw it, I thought there would just be one person sitting in there, like in a cross-legged position. Then I saw it today. It's like opened up. And how many seats are in there? Like 20 seats or something?
Right. Yeah. So how it started was I said to him, like, I wanted a pod. Originally, I was going to have a circular pod like this, or a circle. So there would be 20 seats all the way around with one door, and it just sort of would look like, I don't know, like that teardrop, but like a not so teardroppy. And he's like, there's a lot of dead space in the middle. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know. And I tried drawing it myself, and it looked failed. I even tried copying something from Warhammer 40,000 and like trying to trace over one of their pods, and then tweak it to myself. And he's like, I'll do it for you, sort of. He's done it, yeah. And he's like, it's amazing. He's like, how many people do you need in it? I'm like, well, I need about 20 people because my universe is set very distantly in the future. So like a squad's 20 odd people, like, and this is how their pods, I say, drop thousands of pods on an enemy or like one area. There's hundreds of thousands get dropped. So they'd come out in 20s and they fight and stuff. And he's like, okay, all right. So he sort of did this, and he did the first one, which you just saw the pod landing. And I was like, yeah, what I need, though, is I need like an internal view so I know what's going on, because you've designed it like this, and I don't know how it looks inside. And I've tried. I showed him obviously what I'd done. He's like, okay. And I was like, well, if you like, imagine slicing a cake and you can see the insides. That's kind of what I want. And he was like, right, okay, cool. Bear with me. And then he come out with the other one where you can see the insides. And I was like, wow, that's really so amazing. He's like, just a quick sketch. Yeah. A quick sketch, a quick sketch. That's amazing. I got tired at the end. I couldn't be bothered to do something. That looks so good.
Oh, it's so nice to add visuals to your imagination, isn't it? To have an artist friend who can draw like the stuff from your imagination. It's amazing. Like, I try to draw my characters and things, but my art sucks so badly.
Tell me about it.
Looks so two-dimensional.
Well,
and then I'm like, oh, I wish I could draw like comics and stuff. But anyway, that's just
he's on Fiverr. This is for anyone else. He does gigs. He does, so like, he's got the 3 set prices, but he can do individual prices if you want something specific. So if you want like a low, just a sketch, which only takes a couple of hours, like, so just a sketch, he can do that for a lot discount price. I will put his links in the description.
Oh, cool.
I need to got his link. Is it NeutronBoar? He's got a Facebook page as well. I'll link it all in the description. I should actually have this on hand so I can do it. But he's a real friendly guy. He's real nice. He's a good laugh as well. Like, we've really like clicked as friends and stuff. Like, I can call him a friend, or a virtual friend anyway.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He'd done all of it, and he done a photo bash of an alien, and he tweaked stuff for me because I'm not precise. Well, I am precise. I'm probably a pain, actually. I keep winding up saying that I'm a pain, but I think he likes me. But he tweaks stuff, and he's really good at, if he understands what you want, he can really do that, because like, if someone just says, oh, this is what I want, but you haven't really given details, he kind of will do what he thinks you want. But if you actually can explain it or just draw something, even just a dodgy drawing, you know, he can be like, okay, and then he'll tweak a little bit, and then you know. Yes, go on. Tell us about your day or your week. What have you done this week?
Okay, well, so I published my 4th book in my present series like last week, and then I thought I need to sell more, really. My Facebook ads are not working. My Amazon ads are just like meh. I keep kind of losing money whenever I do promotions. Like, it's just not working that way. So I read this book on reader magnets, and I thought, I'm going to write a couple more reader magnets. I'm going to write a feeder series called Cyborg Assassin, and I'm going to make it wide. That's going to be my only series, which is wide. Everything else is in Kindle Unlimited. And then I'm going to make the first book free, and there's going to be a link in the front of the first book saying, if you sign up on my newsletter, on my mailing list, you can get the second book for free too. And then, I'm just hoping I can build my mailing list to, it's 2,000 at the moment, but I'd like to build it like to much, much more than that, because I think maybe that's one way I could try to sell more books, really, because advertising's not really working for me. I don't have the money to invest, and I don't have the time to analyze the data and everything. So that's what I'm going to try. So I started writing a book called Cyborg Assassin, but the girl, she's like an 8-year-old, and her mum dies, and then she accidentally kills this kid in this like kind of military thing for children soldiers, and then she has to go on a spaceship. So I wrote a few scenes anyway for that, and then I was really, really stuck with it. And my family, it's getting closer to Christmas. I have to do stuff like.
Yep.
My husband took Friday off too, so I didn't end up writing anything on Friday. We went for a massive walk instead. But I was really stuck. I was thinking, oh, what should I do? What should I do? And then I watched this movie, this really cheesy Christmas movie called Bob the Cat or something like this. And it's about this busker who's got this like cat, and it's set in the UK in London. And I felt so sorry for him. Like, he's really poor. Like, he's kind of a big issue guy and stuff. And he's got this cat. And then I just thought up a really good character for the series. I named him after one of my nephews because he's jealous because his cousins are in one of my books. So I called him Frankie, and he's this teenage boy who's a busker on this other planet. And because it's going to be about a war between communists and capitalists. So I thought he's very poor in it. He could be a main character, and then he'll somehow get involved with the other character who will later be like 18 years old. She'll be like an assassin. And so it's just slowly growing it, really. I'm not planning it. I'm trying to write it into the dark.
Your pants are in it. Is that what that's the same?
Yeah. I mean, I planned my first two series, which is 8 books. I planned them via the snowflake method, and I really, really swore by it. But then one day I was just feeling really like I knew what I had to write, and I was just feeling kind of a bit down. And then I watched this 20 books to 50K conference on YouTube, and this guy who writes for Star Wars, he was just saying how he writes into the dark and stuff. And it just sounded so amazing, how the information just comes to him. And I thought, I'm going to try that. And I've done that for a couple of my like military sci-fi books, and they worked out really well. And it was really, really fun to do that. And I didn't have to change anything really. So I'm kind of doing both at the moment anyway. So it was nice how that kid popped up, and he's going to be a major character. Yeah, just because I watched that movie, it inspired me.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Very, very, very good. Have you done anything else this week? This week. Sorry.
I'm doing a Kindle countdown deal. My first 2 books, they're like space fantasy time travel. They're going to be completely free next on Wednesday, this Wednesday, for like 5 days. And then book 3 and book 4, they're going to be 99 cents each. So I just looked at some free promotions I can do, and just did that for a few hours today. And I've done some writing. I did some dictating. I took the kids to the park with my husband yesterday, and I walked, he played with them on the swings, and I walked around for like half an hour and dictated into my MP3 player. Yep. And then I've got Dragon software. I just got that transcribed on there and edited a little bit. But I haven't done the usual 2K a day this week, to be honest. I'm kind of working on 2 books now.
Yeah. Well, split yourself, do what you got to do, really, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to talk about self-publishing and the planning into going self-publishing. Now, we were talking about it a bit earlier, what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what's worked for you, what hasn't worked, because your failures can help people not fail, and your successes can help people hopefully success. And I'm going to talk about what I think might work as an experienced person and what I've read. That's pretty much it, really. So planning, when you plan, like when you come to do self-publishing, like, is that just what you wanted to do, or did you sort of like, just, is that what happened? Did you want to, what did you plan when you first started? What was your plan into doing this? If you know what I mean?
Okay, so probably my son must have been about 1.5 years old, and his sister would have been about 3.5 years old. I just said to my husband one day, you know what, when both of the kids are at school, I don't want to go back to teaching.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like going back to teaching. And he said, why don't you write a book? That's your childhood dream. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to write a book. And then I spent the first 5 months planning all the different worlds in my galaxy. And then I planned all the different characters. And what turned into one book turned into a series. Really, really, lots of point of view characters. Probably a lot of people will say too many, but I really loved George Martin. His the Ice and Fire series. I loved how he had loads of different characters, and that really inspired me. So yeah, I wrote that in the end. And but I met at my son's play school. I was complaining to a couple of the mums one day, like how my neck hurt because I've been writing too much on my iPad, and that I was going to buy this stand for it and a Bluetooth keyboard. And one of the mums said, "Oh, what do you write?" And I said, "Oh, I'm writing a sci-fi book." And she said, "Oh, my husband writes sci-fi." I was like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, come round." And I went round there one evening, and he just told me like all the ins and outs of being an indie author. Like, I didn't really know much about self-publishing, and then he introduced me to 20 books to 50k, that Facebook group, and I looked on there and just started reading stuff, and I was like, yes. And then I had my dream, like I want to make 50k a year, and I'm going to write 20 books. But to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be making that when I do have 20 books, because I'm lucky if I even make 100 quid a month at the moment on 12 books. But I know there's many ways up that mountain, and it's not easy, it's not easy at all. So I'm going to keep trying. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to go back to teaching, really, because I don't think that dream's going to happen anytime soon. But I'm not.
Well, you just have to keep going. That's it. Just don't stop, and just keep sort of pushing on with it, really, isn't it?
Exactly. I won't stop. Like, even if I get a job, I'll keep. Actually, if I get a job, then I won't feel so bad about paying for promotions and things like that, But I've been put off by the paid promotions so far because I just lose money from them. I never make back the money. Like Book Cave promotion, Book Barbarian, who they specialize in sci-fi. I lost money with them. Like quite a few other different promotions. Like I've read lots of books about how promotions really help, and I tried the different strategies, but still I kept losing money. So yeah, I think I need to get a side teaching job, maybe online teaching English as a foreign language, and then I can make a little bit to keep trying.
So would you consider going, because you've had a good run at self-publishing, that's what you're doing, but would you ever want to be published by some of the sci-fi publishers, or the smaller sci-fi publishers that I know we did sort of vaguely talk about it on Instagram, but the profit, they take 30%, so you get 70% of the profit, but then they have a much bigger pool of people that read their brand under the publishing brand. So would you not want to see with you can only just one book, even if you read one book, tried that,
I mean, I write books quite fast. I can write a 40k book in 3 weeks. So I guess
it's taken me.
That's so long. Not that much, though, to be honest. But...
Well, it is to me. Well, but then I'm the 1 year old. If the 1 year old was 3 years old, it'd be different.
Well, the last 4 books I've published have taken 1 month each, including the editing and everything. Yeah, but so you might find a couple of typos there still, because I have to admit I don't pay for an editor because I don't. I mean, my husband's got money, but I can't keep asking him for money all the time. So I feel guilty, So I paid for an editor for my first book, and there were still so many mistakes. I just thought, well, I'm just going to self-edit, and I've got Grammarly, I've got Pro Writing Aid too, so I use those and I read through it several times as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And then you learn, I presume. Obviously, you sound like someone who's more of a brain person and a hands person. So, as you're a teacher and stuff. So, you'll be able to adapt and learn. And if some people do edit themselves, if you're good at doing that stuff, then I presume, it works. But
I'm not very good with commas.
I just put them in any place I think works, and then they probably don't. But then my work tells me.
Some really successful authors do that. That's the thing. Yeah, and can I just give you a tip?
Go.
Like what you were saying before about, you wrote this scene and you really enjoyed it, but whether other people enjoy it is something different. Don't worry about stuff like that, because I bet you 50% of the people will love it, and then 50% of the people will not like it, because there's always people who love a style and people who don't like a style.
Yeah.
So it's better not to get caught up into keep trying to edit again and again, keep changing the wording, make it all literate and everything.
Well, this is something that
bang it out.
Me and the other guys we spoke about in one of the last. I remember the last episode. the hardest part is getting it all down. Get the first bit down. So even if you change, because my story, how I first started, I had one point of view character, and I wrote it, whatever the pronunciation is, and the technology changed as the time went, and I didn't go back and re-edit it because I know that from this point forward, this is how it is. And then I kept going, and then I actually decided that one character wasn't enough for me to tell what I wanted to tell. So I added 3 more characters who 2 are always in the same area as each other, but they don't actually cross paths because they're in different ships in a fleet. And then 2 characters cross and go, maybe a couple times over the story. So then that way I can see that I can see characters from other point of views, and I can hear characters, and I can see actions. So like one guy's in charge of the fleet, so he's controlling everyone, moving the fleet around and stuff. And the other guy is the one who's being taken orders, and he can see the effects of what this guy's doing, whether it's positive or negative, and whatever happens to him. And so I sort of added that sort of, that's what I've done. And then I just changed it.
Read that.
Well, hopefully by summer, as long as I can pull my finger out and do it all on that, we'll see. You're on my Discord, so because you're on my Discord, you can I'm gonna get some beta readers because I need to. Because yeah, go for it.
That's really good.
So, well, we did talk about a bit about editing. So you self-edit. How long does it take you to edit your work? And are you quite critical?
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah. But let me say that when I write a scene or a chapter, I will go back and I will edit it. Yeah, especially if it was like drag and dictate, I'm going to edit it maybe 2 times before I edit everything again at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, because what I've watched a lot of videos and stuff, so I guess I get like a lot of data and information on how people advice and stuff on editing, and the route I'm going to go for is I'm going to write the first story, do it, then I'll re-edit it to the changing of the notes, because each chapter I add notes at the top and the bottom if I've changed technology, if I need to add something, if I know as I've got through, because I'm moving with the story, I then don't want to go back over the chapter and do it because I might lose the flow of where my story was going. So I'll just if I finish that chapter, I write, need to add this guy needs to do this, I need this, add these things, and then I go to the next chapter, keep going, because I want to keep my momentum if I'm getting good word count. So then I know when I come back to editing to re-edit the entire thing, what I'm doing, I'm going to print it all off, or print it in sections, maybe, I don't know, I'll see, depends how much ink it's going to cost. And then I'll take all my notes of each chapter, and I'll tweak each chapter so it all is continually the same. And then once I've done that edit, I'll add notes if I decide anything I'll have to see. Then I'll do like a 3rd time over, depending. If I'm happy with that, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to just, the first quarter of the book, I'll get edited for a proper editing agency people, because spelling, I can't do spelling. That's not my grammar, and so I'm terrible at it, and I need professionals to do it. So I'm going to get them to do the first quarter because it then works out cheaper. I'm going to then give that first quarter out to some beta readers. Yeah. Because who like the same sort of books that I do, and hopefully the book that I'm writing. They'll then read it, give me feedback, tell me if it's what they like, they didn't like, if something made sense, if it didn't make sense, and I will go with that. If it was boring, if it wasn't catchy within the first few pages, or like the first whatever, I will then work on that. Once I get a bit of a feeling, unless I put something in there on purpose, or it doesn't make sense because they haven't read the whole book. But you know what I mean? Once I've done that process, because this is my first book, so I've got to take, as much advice from these beta readers.
Oh, definitely.
And then once I've done that, if I then get a feeling that 9 out of 10 guys, they feel like it's okay, you know what I mean? Then I will then get the rest of the book edited through the editor. Then I'll give them the entire book. They can read the whole book, tell me again, they didn't like, if it made sense, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll go through, edit that. Then if they want to have another read, if it makes sense or not, and then I'll then go to the process and of getting it published. That's kind of my my battle plan regarding.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, with my first series, I was the same. Like, I had loads of beta readers so many. I joined this website called thenextbigwriter.com,
Right.
and it's like a beta reading group for authors. So you get points. You have to beta read different chapters from different people, and then you get points. When you've got enough points, you can post your own chapters up, and then
Okay.
people can look at that and they highlight sections and they write notes, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I had so many bad like criticisms to begin with. Like my writing sucked, I didn't know where I was really, and eventually I kept redoing it until those bad comments became good comments, because I was listening to all of the different advice that these different authors were giving me, and that's how I learned. Rather than reading these books like on how to write, that's how I learned, through trial and error. So while I'm saying don't worry about what other people think, that's only because I've written over 1 million words already, so I'm feeling more confident now.
Yes.
And I feel like I left that site in the end because I was waiting too long for people to beta read me. But it was really, really helpful, and I learned a lot about show and not tell, and not using too many adjectives or adverbs, and I learned loads of really good things through trial and error. But you need a really thick skin. You need to be able to take the criticism. But I actually really soaked it up. I even though it could be a bit hurtful, I really like the criticism because I learned so much from that. Being
Well, you need to. You do, because like you're writing. There's two ways. You're either writing a story to tell what you want to do, and it doesn't matter for anyone else. Then that way, then you shouldn't publish it. Then, if that's what you're doing, but if you're doing it for other people to enjoy, they have to enjoy it. So you have to what you like, and it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're writing something to give to other people, and if you want them to like it to a degree, you've got to make sure that it's interesting or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, what was I going to say? I was going to talk about covers now. Covers. So, we were talking about, because you've got different prices in your covers, because you spent a bit more and a bit less and stuff. Like, how do you feel covers affect your books? And do you want... Well, to talk about covers, tell me about your process of covers, and then I'll talk about mine.
I don't know if I'm a good person to talk to about it, because I've had some space opera authors tell me that my first series, like my covers, they don't really look so on niche, and it's kind of, I mean, rather than having that kind of, for my first book, rather than having a kind of sexy, cocky looking space woman, my woman looked really sad, like, but that's what I wanted. I know they say you should follow what everyone else does, so. But it's about slavery. It's about sex slavery. My first series, like, it's about interstellar sex slavery. It doesn't get into loads of detail, but she rescues those slaves, and she looks really sad on the first cover. So I'm probably not a good person to talk to. But my current series, which is more space opera techno thriller, which I'm writing more for other people. I'm enjoying it, but it's not really completely me. Anyway, that is like a big spaceship. It's a really nice cover. It was as cheap as anything, to be honest. I use exactly the same cover for every single book, but just change the number, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's called Yufu's Run. So Yufu's Run 1, Yufu's Run 2, Yufu's Run 3. It's just the same image of a spaceship and a planet. And it looks really nice, though. I've had other space opera authors say, wow, I really like your cover. Like, how much did you spend on that? And I'm like, 15 quid. 15 quid on the first one, and then 5 quid on the second one. I know it sounds like, oh my God, that's just like living, like paying on a shoestring. But that's all I can afford at the moment, because I'm not working and I'm not getting my own money. I mean, and I feel too guilty to ask my husband to keep paying for stuff all the time, so but it works. It's like, people see the spaceship, people who like space opera, they'll see the spaceship and I think they'll like it, and it's an attractive cover. And I just got the image from Deposit Photos, and then asked my cover designer to make some kind of sci-fi font. And
well, I'm hoping my good friend, Mr. Artist, he's he's gonna. I would try and pronounce his name, but we were talking about earlier. I can't actually pronounce his name properly.
Oh, where's he from?
He's Lithuanian, but he lives in Ireland. He's a really, really nice man, but his first name I struggle to pronounce, and his second name, he just laughed at me. It was funny. He's a good guy as it goes. We're going to work on hopefully doing a cover, and he's going to do one for me, and I'm going to pressure him into doing a real fabulous one. I don't need to pressure him, but I think I'm a knob really, and I think he knows I'm a knob, but I'm a nice guy when it comes to that.
So is he going to hand draw it like your pod, or is he going to use Photoshop, or is it going to be illustrated?
So he does photo bashing. It's called photo bashing, where it's like they make it all pictures where it looks realistically more, and then there's the drawing where he actually draws it. He does both. We haven't really crossed that bridge yet. We're not at that stage. I don't really know. I've got an idea of what I want for a cover, but I haven't really for this book because I've written or wrote a few. Terrible words I say. A few drafts up of other books, and I kind of know what each cover's going to look like if I ever go over them again, because they're terrible. My writing is terrible now, but it's really improved to what it was at first. It was so bad, but like it's amazing. I wish I kept the first thing I ever done. So like if I ever actually got known enough, and then I'll be like, this is what I first done. See, it's so bad. Like I've written my first one, then I've re-edited the entire first 10,000 words of it, and just from doing that one over, it looked amazing. I wish I kept the first atrocity.
Oh yeah.
Bit of history, but yeah. So hopefully we'll do a cover, and I am only by myself. I buy books by cover. I see a cover, if it's pretty, or it's hitting my thing, which is ships and stuff, and I'll be like, right, I want that. I'll then open, like either pull it off the shelf, click on Amazon or whatever it is, then I'll read or listen to it if it's on Audible. You know what I mean? That's how I am. So the prettier ship or the prettier thing and the title is what draws me. So I am going for having a decent cover, and like obviously your situation is different to mine, but I'm hopefully going to be able to save up and pay him some good money to make him do some extra long hours work.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you know what kind of covers really attract me? Like game lit covers. I haven't really read any game lit. I think I might start reading that after I've read more space opera. But the covers just look so cool. Like some of those books, like with aliens on or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking. I was sort of thinking of like, I haven't got nothing here. Like slices across the front cover, and each slice has like a little bit going on of each character, which will be in the books. Like you might see each different character doing something. I don't know. That's sort of the idea I'm toying in my head, but I've only just sort of thinking about it the other day.
Do you see other books like that?
So my other ones.
Do you see, when you look on Amazon, do you see other space opera books that look like that?
Well, usually they're kind of like a ship. There's like a lot of ships going on, and like, and they're either ships or they're like one guy standing there,
or a woman,
or woman, but a person. There's someone
standing
there in some real tight armor, which doesn't look like they can move very well, and it looks like there's nowhere for them to zip down and pee or anything. So I don't know, you know what I mean? And it looks like sort of leathery armor. They're in some position, usually on like a mountain or by like some sort of sci-fi table, and there's some sort of alien next to them or some sort of tendril doing something. So it's either that sort of art covers, or they're like these ships of different grades of art, and some of the ships are amazing. There's this one guy called Tom Edwards. Like his work is outstanding, and his ships are they are a work of art. But he isn't expensive. They're expensive, but they will catch eyes over Mr. Leather Armor looking guy. I was going to say now, but yeah. So like seeing, this is why I like this idea of this, because it might be like the front cover split into 4, so you might have like one guy, you see him with his ship, because one flies a fighter, which is it's a specific fighter that has a specific little role. So there's one guy in a fighter, one guy who controls the actual fleet. So you might see like some of the fleet ships. So him with some fleet ships behind as a background. The guy who's a fighter with his fighter one behind him. One guy's got. I did two other guys. One's like a Marine, codename Marine. I don't know if I'm going to change the branding because like so distant in the future whether they'll be called Marines. But there's one's a Marine and one's like I call him a specialist because I don't want to talk about what he does. So they'll be around tanks, maybe mech. I don't know if I'm going to have mechs, but they're going to be around tanks and stuff like them. So I might have them with a tank behind. So like you've got the three characters with the four characters with the four different things behind them. So you still got ships and someone's posing in front of them.
It's quite a lot going on though, I think.
Yeah.
Because when that's really, really small, you know,
yes.
like
I'd have to do something different, probably.
No one's going to know that that's space opera. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no. This is what this is for. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe. I know a lot of the time authors want people to know like what's going on by like seeing different scenes, but I think maybe one of those scenes will probably get you more eyes. To be honest, maybe
possibly.
Some tanks and stuff, and then a planet and a moon in the background, or I don't know. Just
there's only one planet in my story. Well, there's a secondary planet, but you only hear about it. Maybe I could have a planet with a few ships fighting in front. God, hopefully he's watching this stream and he's thinking, "Oh my, make him do less work." Dad, I want detail. I want to be able to zoom in on it, and I can see the people in the ships. No, I'm joking. I know.
The tiny thing.
No, I know. No, this is what I want him to do. That's what I want to do. I want to get my money's worth out of him. No, I'm joking. But he's probably like, "Whoa, I'm gonna kill you, Joe." He doesn't sound like that. Right. So now we're gonna. I'll turn my note page over. So this is my This is. I drew a pod earlier today, so I drew that pod there, yeah, and I sent him that, and I was like, I'm doing another pod because it was talking about some flat pods, and he was trying to convince me of his flat pod, and I was like, I don't want a flat pod, but then I decided I'm gonna have a flat pod as an enemy. I'm like, oh, I've got a flat pod, stuff like that, and then he goes, oh yeah, and I'm like, he looks really good, doesn't it? Like you see the blue shading with the white paper, like it looks really good. He's like, yeah. Do you want me to draw you the pod, mate? And I was like, all right. I mean, okay. I'm like, what are you trying to say? My pod don't look that good. And then he drew this
really nice pod.
This pod, I'll put it up on my. He drew another pod, and it looks so good. It really does.
Check out. If anyone's watching this video, you need to check out Joe's Instagram page because you can see pictures of the pod there.
Or join us on Discord, as well as
Discord,
Rayner is on Instagram as well. I'll put all your links will be in the description, don't worry. Right, what we're going to talk about now, what I was talking about originally, we're going to talk about the lead up to the sale of the book now. So we've got the cover, we've done the final bit of so on. We're going to talk about the lead up to how you kind of get people, well, you're sort of getting people interested in now, hopefully. So what did you do and what worked, didn't work?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not very good at all of that. I do have 2K people on my mailing list now. But yeah, I'm not very good because I haven't achieved those promotions, because I've only lost money from them. I don't really do them anymore, except some free promotions. So I'm probably, I've read all of these books on how to plan your book release strategies and everything, but it doesn't really work very well for me. I don't know. I think I just need my mailing list to be much bigger. I used to do loads and loads of newsletter swaps on Story Origin and Book Funnel. So yeah, that helped a little bit. But a lot of people can be freebie seekers, and they won't want to buy anything. They'll just want it to be free. So I'm probably the wrong person to talk to. I've read loads of books on how to do it, and I've tried different things, but I haven't been very successful. But I tell you what I do. I don't do pre-orders because I just want it to go on the series straight away. But what I do is when I publish it, I let my newsletter know, but I spread it out over 5 days. So on my MailChimp account, I've tagged like between 300 and 400 people for like group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, and then I'll send out the same email every day, so that if people do buy my book, it's not going to be one massive peak on one day, but it's going to be a steady, you know, steady, even if it's just 1 or 2 people buying it every day. It's like that, really. Not
well,
many
that's how
people.
the algorithms work. That's why pre-orders, I think, aren't that good, because a bulk buy and then a big drop down doesn't look very good on the algorithm. So then your book doesn't get shown and circulated. If there's like a steady climb or just a steady ripple of books being bought, the algorithm shows it up. The algorithm, it's horrible, the stuff like that. So what I've been thinking about, so tell me your thoughts on this. Something in my book, something happens at the beginning which leads the fleet to go and check something out. So what I was thinking of doing is just doing like a short story, 10,000 word sort of story of just the initial, that what happens to send them over. Just a little thing, because it doesn't actually affect the story. There's no like spoilers. It's straight from the beginning. You know why they're going out there and whatever. So I was thinking about just doing about 7,500 to 10,000 sort of story, whacking that for free. And even doing it for Amazon as a paperback book for no profit for myself, just so it's dirt cheap. Just so people if they want to buy a cheap book or a free book, do as much as I can to get it out there. Try and circulate a bit of interest, because I know, or from what I've done a little bit of research on this, I didn't realise that there's quite a market for short stories, up to like 10, maybe 20,000, but shorter stories that people can read in a good few hours. Because a lot of people, when they work, they don't have time in the evenings, they have a few lunch breaks. You can't read a thick book. It'll take you forever if you only have a couple hours a day. So some people do like short books that they can just churn through. So that's kind of my idea of doing a real short story to hopefully people might buy it, and then and then they might want to buy the series or buy the second book or the book that I'm doing now, as well as buy people. I'll get feedback as well, because it's been a free book. People love free books. I'll hopefully get reviews, feedback, might find out some stuff that like the beta readers or the editor missed and so on. And that might generate a tiny bit of spark for them when I come to releasing the actual book.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's really helpful. And you can offer it on Story Origin and Book Funnel and places, and do newsletter swaps with people. I mean, that's what I did with my first series. The first 3 books, I was hardly getting any sales at all. So between book 3 and 4, I wrote a quick prequel. Well, it wasn't so quick. It was 16,000 words. And I made that free on Book Funnel and Story Origin, and I got loads and loads of subscribers. And all the time I'm getting like free downloads all the time on that, and then it's wide as well, so you're attracting other people as well, and then they can come over to Amazon Kindle.
Well, this is something with the YouTube channel and the Discord. I really want. I like communicating with like the people I talk to and do the videos for, and hopefully the books and stuff. So with the Discord and the YouTube, and I really would like to be able to communicate to anyone, especially if someone likes the book that I write. So the plan is to actually, I really want to be really involved with the people who listen to the books, because like I'm on quite a few Facebook groups of like other authors, like Anthony James, M.R. Forbes, what's another guy, Jay Allen, I think, and a few other people. Like I'm on them because I'm fans. So like when they talk, sometimes I talk to them and chat to them, and I'm on like a lot of sci-fi. Read a book. I'm a fan of sci-fi. I read loads of sci-fi. I read as much as I can. So I like communicating with the authors and stuff. So I'd hopefully, if I got to the stage where people like my book, even if it's just one person, they're like, "Oh, I like your book." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, mate. I'll be a friend." I'd actually talk to them and like, like any like inputs or like, you know what I mean? Because like I'm designing my universe to be quite open to be able to do anything you want with it to a degree. So like if like a load of fans are like, "Oh, I love this. This is a cracking idea." I'll be like, "Well, I'll see if I can work that in," because I actually, like I like it. And I'm doing it for them, and plus I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it because they
could tell you a story, and you could use one of your fan stories, like, and change it a bit, and
as long as it makes sure I'm not going to get sued, then So
no, it's really good that you're a people's person. I think you can go really far with that, and maybe some more successful space opera authors will even ask you if you'd like to collaborate with them or something. I mean, that's my dream, but I find it quite hard. I'm quite a shy person, and I don't know if it's because I'm female too, but I find it quite hard to like reach out and communicate with like I guess I tend to communicate more with the female space opera authors. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, of course, there's that part of me always wishing, that some successful author will read my books and they'll like them and say, would you like to collaborate in my universe or something? I mean, that could be all the difference it takes, to
well, a lot of
change
it's
that
networking.
£100 a month to like £1,000 a month. I don't know.
Well, it's all networking. Get to know the people, find people on Facebook. Expand yourself, because a lot of the guys I've met who do sci-fi, military sci-fi, and space opera, they all help each other. No one's been mean. As far as I've seen, no one said nothing bad about each other. Like I've only done as good as I've done on YouTube because of just this one guy who I spoke to, which is J.R. Hardley. I think his name's Hardley. Hardley. Oh, he's going to kill me. I forget his name. I'm terrible with names. I forget my children's names so bad. I'm like, what are you called? Go! I told you to do it. Go! Terrible. Dogs. I've got a chicken. I've had loads of chickens, and every time we have chickens, I call them Dave. They're all called Dave. I get a new one, Dave. I know the chickens are called Dave. They're all female. They're all hens, and I call them. We've actually got one who's called Max as well, because I don't know why I called Max. And I think one of the children wanted to call it Max. But they're all he's, even though the females, all he's. They're all Daves, and now we've got Max, but the Daves, because I just need to remember Pacific. I'm so bad.
You've got chickens.
Yeah, chickens and dogs. Oh, it drives me mad. I don't want no animals. I'm a hermit who don't want no animals, but apparently we have to have them. It's my woman's side. It never do with me, I swear.
Oh, it's lovely to have chickens. That's my husband's dream, to have chickens, but I'm like, they're too smelly. We don't have much land either. Well, but when he grew up in China, he had lots of chickens and ducks and stuff like that.
Well, chickens aren't too bad, actually. Especially you can clean. They're very easy to clean out. They're not messy. I mean, when the poo first comes out, it's messy, but like it dries up quite well. And if it's got shavings, excuse me. They are very easy to maintain, and they don't make a lot of mess. They just sort of poop and walk about, but it's good. It's good poo as it goes. It's not like
Yeah, they're not carnivores, are they?
No, it's no different from the stuff that gets put on our fields. Right. So what we're going to talk about? We spoke about I think we spoke about everything now. Is there anything you would like to talk about? Are you happy? Anything else you want to input to self-publishing and planning?
Well, as I said, I'm not really a successful author, so I don't. I mean, talking financially, I'm successful in the way that I'm following my dreams, and I love it. I love what I'm writing. Like, I'm really surprised because I'm a hippie. Yeah, I'm a hippie at heart. All my friends have always called me a forest fairy, and now suddenly I'm writing about cyborg assassins and like kind of military sci-fi. It's like, where the hell does it come from? Like people are not just like what they look like, and there's so many dimensions to a person's soul. I mean, I'm not going to get really spiritual or anything, but that hasn't got anything to do with promoting anyway. And I think I'm the wrong person to ask about promoting. I could talk until the cows come home about writing and what I like in writing and what I don't like, and how I like to write suspense and things like that. But when it comes to promoting, I haven't been successful at all financially, so I'm probably the wrong person to talk to about that.
It's all experience. There's this is for more people who are green and starting first off, and it's good to see different levels of stage, because you read the Brandon Sandersons and you read even military sci-fi guys, and they're doing really well, but there's a big gap in between of people trying to get up to that, and you're just a stage. You're a lot higher stage than what I am, and even you're a lot higher stage than what I am when I do my first book. So we're all at we're all at different stages. So it's good. It's all good. Hopefully someone will watch this and be like, oh wow, that's a good bit of advice. That's all. Yeah,
well, the people in my newsletter, I think they quite like me. Like my last newsletter was really chatty, and I was talking about my kids and their elves on the shelf and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and how they've been getting up to really naughty things. And one woman, she emailed me back and she said, oh, you know, I missed your promotion, but your email just cheered me up so much. And she was just saying she like 76-year-old woman, and she had she fell over in the bath and got a concussion, so she missed my promotion. But anyway, I emailed her a free copy of the book, and she was just saying how much she enjoyed reading my email and stuff, and to please keep emailing.
That's nice.
And then then I wrote back. I said, are you sure that you like to read military sci-fi if you're like a 76-year-old woman? And then I wrote, oh no, I shouldn't say that really, because I'm writing it and my friends call me a forest fairy. So
there you go. That's what I mean. You don't know what people like in the end.
Yeah, you can't judge, can you?
No. All right. Well, I'm happy. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to thank you, Rayner, for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Maybe come on again if you feel like it. I'm going to add all of our links in the description if you want to follow any of us on Instagram. Do. Discord. Join us on Discord, because we just talk about sci-fi books. Some people talk about fantasy books. I'm going to start reading fantasy now to start expanding, help the channel grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Appreciate it. And goodbye.
Thank you so much for inviting me as well.
No worries.
That's really kind of you. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
Good. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.